The midnight call at 12:03 a.m. Sandra's phone lit up on the nightstand. The name on the screen made her heart jump. Keanu was calling. She sat up in the half-dark, the room quiet except for the soft hum of the city outside. Her hands trembled a little. Late calls carry weight. Late calls mean something that cannot wait for morning. She answered with a whisper. "Hello?" His voice was gentle, low, and a little unsure. "Hi. I hope I did not wake you. I know it is late. I would not call if it was not important." There was a pause, like he was measuring each word, trying not to break the night. "I need to share something I never said before. I should have said it long ago." Sandra leaned against the headboard, pulling the blanket tight around her. "I am here. You can tell me." She heard the way he inhaled, slow and careful, like he was walking across a narrow bridge in his mind. "First, I want to say this with respect," he said. "You have always been kind. You have always been strong. But I think there is a part of you that still carries a heavy stone. I know, because I carry one too." A shiver passed through her, not from fear, but from recognition. The words opened an old door inside her. "What stone?" she asked softly. "The one made of silence," he said. "The silence after we say goodbye. The silence after we miss a chance to speak the truth. I have a truth I did not speak. I want to fix that now." She could feel her pulse in her throat. "Go on." He was quiet for a moment, and in that space she noticed a small sound near her front door, a soft slide against wood, like paper moving. She turned her head, listening hard. The sound stopped. She looked back at the phone. "Sorry, I thought I heard something." "Are you safe?" he asked at once. The concern in his voice was real, steady, and warm. "Yes," she said. "I think it was nothing." He breathed out. "Calm, return I. Angmei years ago," he began. "We both worked so hard. We moved from set to set, city to city. I tried to be present, but sometimes I let the noise swallow the moments that mattered. One night, after a long day, you told me something honest. You told me you were tired of being brave all the time. You said you wanted someone to notice when you were not okay. I heard you. I even felt it. But I did not say what I should have said." Her chest tightened. She remembered that night. A cold chair, a warm cup, the way the room folded in at the edges. She had smiled and changed the subject because that was easier than staying with the truth. "What should you have said?" she asked. "I should have said, I notice. I care. You do not have to hold the world by yourself. I should have asked, how can I help right now? But I said nothing. I let the moment pass, and I am sorry." His apology was simple. There was no show in it, no weight to force forgiveness, and maybe that was why it felt so true. She pressed the phone closer to her ear and closed her eyes. "Thank you," she said. "I remember that night too. I did not ask again because I was afraid of hearing nothing. I thought silence meant I was alone. But I was wrong." Another sound slid under the conversation. This time it was clear. Paper against wood, then a soft tap. Sandra's heart knocked once against her ribs. "Keanu," she whispered, "I think there is something at my door." He did not hesitate. "Keep me on the line. Do not open if it feels wrong." She stood, crossed the room, and looked through the peephole. No one in the hallway, only a white envelope on the floor, without a name, with a small, pressed blue flower sealed under clear tape. Her fingers shook as she picked it up. The paper was cool and smooth. "There is an envelope here," she said. "No stamp, no writing." "Is there a return address?" he asked. "Nothing, yes," he said. "Just the flower." She carried it back to the bed and sat down. The city hum grew louder in her ears, or maybe it was only her pulse. She slid a finger under the flap and opened the envelope. A single photograph. She drew in a slow breath. The photo showed two people at a small street cafe, soft string lights above them. Their faces were turned toward each other in a quiet smile. It was her and Keanu. It looked like a stolen moment, warm and easy, but Sandra knew they had never taken that picture. Not there, not like that, not with those lights, not with that smile. "What do you see?" he asked, voice steady, like he was holding a lantern while she walked into a cave. "It is us," she said, "but it is not a real memory. It is something else. It is like a wish someone printed on paper." He was silent for a few seconds, then said, "Turn it over." She did. On the back, in careful, small letters, a message waited. "Tonight is the night to speak. No more silence. Call back if the heart agrees." A phone number was written below, but it was missing the last 2 digits, like the truth was asking her to be brave and finish the line herself. Sandra looked at the phone in her hand and then at the photo. "Someone wants us to talk," she whispered. "Then we will," he said. "But we will do it with respect. No rush, no fear. You are not alone." She felt tears rise, not from pain, but from relief. The heavy stone inside her shifted a little. "I am ready," she said. "Say the words you called to say." He took a breath. "Here they are. I see you. I always did. And if you need a voice on the line when the world is heavy, I will be that voice." Her answer came like light through a thin curtain. "Thank you. I needed to hear that." Outside, a soft wind moved along the street. Inside, the photo lay between them like a doorway. The night was still deep, but something bright had already begun. The voice in the silence, the envelope lay on Sandra's bed, the strange photograph between her and the late-night call. Her hands trembled as she held it, her heart unsteady. "Keanu T. His is not just a message. Someone left it here. Someone was outside my door." On the line, his voice dropped low, steady, protective. "Then listen carefully. You are not alone in this moment. I am with you, even across the miles. Don't let fear tell you otherwise." She closed her eyes, hearing the calm in his tone. For a moment, her fear eased, like a flame touched by soft rain. "But what if they are still here?" she whispered. "Then they are listening to a woman who refuses to break," he said firmly. "That is not weakness. That is power." Sandra pressed the photo flat against the blanket. Her mind raced. "Why would anyone send us this picture? Why create something that never happened?" Keanu's answer was quiet. "Sometimes people make illusions to control others, but truth always shows its own face. Let's focus on that. Tell me, when you look at that photo, what do you feel?" She stared at it. The lights above the cafe glowed soft. The 2 figures, her and Keanu, smiled as though nothing in the world could disturb them. "I feel peace," she admitted, "but also sadness, because it's not real. It's like a memory that belongs to another life." There was silence for a moment. Then he said, "Maybe the picture isn't about the past. Maybe it's about what we never gave ourselves the chance to say. Maybe it's about tonight." Her chest tightened. "Tonight?" "Yes," he said. "I told you earlier. I called to share something I never said before. Maybe this strange message is a push from life itself, a reminder that silence only grows heavier if we don't break it." As he spoke, another sound moved through the apartment. Soft, like a footstep across the wooden floor. Sandra froze. "Keanu, I'm not alone. I heard something." His voice sharpened, calm but urgent. "Lock your door. Move to the far side of the room. Keep me in your hand." She hurried, locking the door and pressing her back against the wall. Her heart pounded, the phone shaking near her ear. What if someone is inside?" "Then you breathe," he said firmly. "Fear wants you to lose control, but courage is not about the absence of fear. It is about choosing steady steps even when fear screams." She gripped the phone tighter, listening. The sound came again, closer this time. Her breath caught. Suddenly, from the shadows of her living room, a voice called softly, "Miss Bullock?" She froze. The voice was male, polite but strange, too calm for a stranger in her home. "Who's there?" she demanded, her voice trembling. The answer came slow. "I was asked to deliver a message. You opened the first envelope. There will be more." Sandra's skin prickled. "How did you get inside?" Silence. Then the sound of retreating footsteps. She rushed to the peephole again, but the hallway was empty. When she looked back at the bed, another envelope now lay beside the first, as if it had appeared from the air itself. Her hands shook as she lifted it. Keanu's voice steadied her. "Don't open it yet. Tell me what you see first." The envelope was pale blue this time, sealed with a pressed feather under clear tape. No name, no mark, only silence around it. Her breath came ragged. "It feels like a game," she whispered. "No," Keanu said firmly. "It feels like someone testing your strength, and you will show them you are stronger than they think." Her eyes filled with tears, not only of fear but of exhaustion. "I don't know if I can keep doing this, Keanu." "You can," he said gently. "Because you are not doing it alone. Remember the words I told you. I see you. I always did. And tonight, I am not letting the silence win." She clutched the phone, letting his words fill her chest with air. Slowly, she tore open the blue envelope. Inside was another photo. This time it showed her standing at her own window, taken from outside, from the street below. Her knees weakened. "Keanu, they're watching me right now." On the line, his voice grew even calmer, like a steady flame in the storm. "Then let them watch. Because what they'll see is someone who refuses to break. We will face this together, step by step." The number without an ending. The blue envelope lay open on the blanket, the second photo staring back at Sandra. It showed her window from the street below, her figure faintly visible inside. Her hands shook as she held it, her breath short and uneven. "Keanu, this isn't just a message anymore. They are outside, right now, watching me." His voice came calm but solid, carrying weight like a stone placed gently in her palm. "Listen to me. You are not alone. I am here. Fear wants you to believe you are trapped, but there is always a choice. Take a deep breath. Slow down your thoughts." She tried, pressing her hand to her chest. "But what if they come back? What if they're already inside?" "Then you do not freeze," he said firmly. "You move with courage, one small step at a time. I will not let fear take you." Sandra wiped her tears with the back of her hand, then picked up the first envelope again. She turned the strange photograph over. Her eyes landed on the half-written phone number, the one missing its last 2 digits. "Keanu, the message said tonight is the night to speak. Maybe this is connected. Maybe the number is the key." His tone softened. "Sometimes unfinished things are invitations. Maybe they want you to complete it. But it could also be a trap. Don't call it yet. Let's think." Sandra stared at the digits, her mind spinning. She whispered, "What if the missing numbers are a choice? Like the person is testing me?" Keanu paused before answering. "Then let's not play their game. Let's make it ours." Before she could reply, another sound filled the apartment, a faint vibration from under the door. An envelope had been slid across the floor again. Her whole body tensed. "Keanu, there's another one." "Pick it up carefully. Tell me what it looks like." Sandra moved slowly, every step heavy with dread. She bent and lifted the envelope. This one was red, sealed with a small piece of black ribbon. Her stomach turned. "It's red this time." "Open it when you're ready," Keanu said softly. Her fingers trembled as she tore it open. Inside was not a photo this time. It was a small card with only 4 words written neatly in ink. "You missed your chance." Her throat closed. "Keanu, what does this mean?" His voice stayed calm, though she could sense the weight beneath it. "It means they are trying to control the moment, to force urgency. They want you to feel powerless, but you are not powerless. You still hold the choice." Her tears returned, heavy and hot. "But what do they want from me? Why me? Why now? There was silence on the line for a few seconds. Then Keanu spoke quietly, almost like a confession. Sometimes people target light because they cannot make their own. You shine in ways you don't see, Sandra. That makes you a mirror they cannot bear. This is not about weakness. It is about the strength you already have. His words wrapped around her, but before she could answer, her phone buzzed in her hand. A new text message appeared. Unknown number. 3 words again. Look outside now. Her stomach dropped. Keanu, they want me to look out the window. Don't, he said firmly. They want your reaction. That's their power. But the pull was too strong. Trembling, she stepped to the window, pulling the curtain back just a little. What she saw froze her in place. Across the street, a car sat under a dim lamp. Its headlights were off, but she could see 2 figures inside. One of them raised a phone, the screen glowing faintly, pointing straight at her window. She gasped, "They're right there." Keanu's voice cut through her fear like a steady anchor. "Listen carefully. You are not their victim. You are not a Dow in your own story. Close the curtain, step back, and hear me say this. You are stronger than the game they are playing." She closed the curtain with shaking hands, stepping away. But Keanu, what if they come in? What if they don't stop? He breathed out slowly, his tone deep, certain, unshakable. Then they will meet someone who refuses to bow to fear. They will meet you, standing, not broken. And they will meet me, here, your voice in the dark. And together that is something they cannot defeat. Her tears blurred her vision, but a small ember of strength burned inside her chest. She whispered, "I don't want to be afraid anymore." "And you won't," he said. "Not tonight. Not ever again." As he spoke, another buzz came through her phone. Not a text this time. A call. The screen showed an unknown number, the same digits from the envelope, now completed. Sandra's breath hitched. "It's them." Keanu's voice steadied her one last time. "Then this is the moment. The silence breaks here. Answer it. But remember, you are not alone." The call in the dark, the phone screen glowed in Sandra's hand, the unknown number flashing again and again. Her chest tightened with every ring. "Keanu, what if it's dangerous?" His voice came calm, steady, never breaking. "Danger is already here in the silence. Answering might not give you safety, but it will give you truth. And truth is stronger than silence." She hesitated, her thumb hovering. Then she pressed the green button. For a moment, there was only static. Then a voice, soft and low, filled her ear. "Miss Bullock, you saw the photo. You saw the window. You know now. We see you. We always have." Her throat went dry. "Who are you? Why are you doing this?" The voice chuckled, almost amused. "Because silence is heavy and we want to see if you can carry it. Because there are words you and your friend have never spoken. And a world waits for them. Tonight is not about danger. It is about choice." Keanu's voice came firm, cutting through. "Whoever you are, you don't decide when people speak their truth. Respect is not taken, it's given." The caller was quiet for a long second, then he said, Keanu Reeves. The man who carries his pain quietly, who hides his truth in calm shadows. This night belongs to both of you." Sandra felt a shiver pass down her spine. "What do you want us to do?" "Finish the silence," the voice whispered. "Say the words you never said. If you don't, there will be another envelope, and another, until you break or until you speak." Then the line went dead. Sandra gripped the phone tight, her breath unsteady. "Keanu, they want us to say what we never said." Keanu's voice softened, almost like he had been waiting for this. "Then maybe we should." Her heart raced. "But what if this is their trap?" "Maybe it is," he said quietly. "But silence has been its own trap for years. Maybe speaking is the only way to be free. no matter who is listening. She sat back on the bed, tears in her eyes. You mean, you really want to tell me? Keanu took a deep breath. Yes, because the truth has lived too long in the shadows. I called you tonight to say it, even before these envelopes. Sandra, I have always respected you, not just for what the world sees, but for who you are when no one is looking. Your kindness, your strength, your way of carrying pain with grace. I should have told you that years ago. Her lips trembled. She whispered, Why now? Because tonight reminded me how fragile everything is, he said. One photo, one shadow, and suddenly everything feels urgent. I don't want to leave important words unsaid anymore. I don't want silence to be the last thing between us. Her tears fell freely now. Keanu, I thought I was the only one who carried that stone of silence. But you feel it too. Yes, he said softly. I do. But not anymore. Or, not if we let it go together. Just then, another sound echoed in the apartment. A knock, sharp and sudden at the door. Sandra froze. Keanu, someone's here. The knock came again, louder this time. Her heart pounded. What if it's them? Keanu's voice was low, protective. Don't open it. Ask who it is. Sandra swallowed hard, then called out. Who's there? A pause. Then a voice replied, calm and formal. Security. We had a report of suspicious activity outside. We need to check in. Her knees weakened with relief, but doubt still clung. What if it's not really them? Keanu thought for a moment, then said, Look through the peephole. Trust what you see. She did. A man in uniform stood outside, but his eyes were tired, his stance heavy. She opened the door slowly, keeping the chain locked. Yes? The guard leaned in. Someone left another envelope for you. He slid it through the gap. Sandra's stomach turned as she picked it up. This one was black, heavier than the others. She carried it back to the bed, her hands trembling. Keanu's voice steadied her again. Open it. She tore it slowly. Inside was a single sheet of paper, one line written across it. You spoke, but not enough. The night is not over. Sandra's blood ran cold. Keanu, they're not finished. They're still here. He took a breath, his calm like armor. Then neither are we. The night belongs to us too, and we will not break. The breaking point. The black envelope lay heavy in Sandra's hands, as if the paper itself carried weight. She stared at the words again. You spoke, but not enough. The night is not over. Her breath came quick, uneven, like she could not fill her lungs. Keanu, she whispered. What do they want from me? I already listened. You already spoke. Why is it not enough? His voice came steady, soft but strong. Because they want control. Fear feeds on unfinished things. They want you to believe you owe them more. But you don't. The truth you and I share belongs to us, not them. Tears stung her eyes. Then why do I feel so weak? Because you are tired, he said gently. Carrying silence is heavy. Tonight you are not weak. You are simply worn. But resilience is not about never bending. It is about standing again, even when your knees shake. His words steadied her, but before she could reply, a loud crash echoed from outside her apartment. Glass breaking, her whole body froze. Keanu, did you hear that? Yes, he said quickly. Stay away from the windows, stay near the door, keep me with you. Her pulse thundered as she moved toward the hallway, clutching the phone. Another sound followed, footsteps in the stairwell, fast and hard, climbing upward. They're coming, she whispered. Then listen carefully, he said, his tone calm but sharper now. Lock yourself in a room. But remember, fear wants you silent. Tonight, you answer it. You speak. Her hands shook as she locked herself in the bedroom. What do I say? Say what you never dared, he said. Say it to me. Say it to yourself. Speak the truth that silence kept. Her throat tightened. She pressed the phone against her ear. The truth is, I was always afraid to lose you. I thought if I said too much, I would ruin what we had, so I stayed quiet. I laughed when I wanted to cry. I walked away when I wanted to stay. I thought silence would protect me, but it only made me lonely. Keanu was quiet, his breath steady. Then he said, "Thank you. That was the truth. And here is mine. I never said how much I admired your strength, even when you were breaking inside. I never told you that you mattered more to me than the noise of all the world. I hid behind calmness, thinking it was enough. But silence was a wall, and I don't want it anymore." Tears streamed down her cheeks, but she felt something lift from her chest, like chains breaking. Keanu. Suddenly the apartment door rattled violently. Someone was trying to open it. Her scream caught in her throat. "Stay calm," Keanu said firmly. "They want your fear. Don't give it." The rattling stopped. Silence pressed in heavy. Then another envelope slid under the bedroom door. Sandra bent slowly and picked it up, her fingers trembling. It was silver this time, sealed with wax. She opened it carefully. Inside was a small note. "You spoke your truth. Now choose. Step outside or stay silent forever." Her whole body shook. "They want me to go out there." "No," Keanu said firmly. "They don't get to decide. You already broke the silence. That was the real test. The rest is just noise." But as he spoke, Sandra realized something. The handwriting on the silver note. It was not the same as before. It was different, slanted, uneven, rushed. Her eyes widened. "Keanu, this isn't the same person. There's more than one." The realization struck deep. This was not one voice testing her. It was many. "Then all the more reason to stay strong," he said. "Their power is only in the shadows. The moment you stand in the light, they lose." Her tears slowed, replaced by something new. A spark of defiance. She stood, holding the silver note tight in her fist. "I don't want to hide anymore." "Then don't," Keanu said softly. "Tonight, you walk through fear, not around it." A deep breath filled her chest. She unlocked the bedroom door and stepped into the dark hallway. Her pulse was wild, but her steps were steady. "I'm here," she said aloud, her voice echoing. "Whoever you are, whatever you want, you don't own me. I will not live in silence." The hallway answered with stillness. Then, faintly, a shadow moved near the front door. A figure stood there, still and quiet, watching her. Sandra's voice shook, but she did not look away. "I am not afraid of you anymore." The figure tilted its head slowly, then dropped another envelope at her feet before turning and vanishing into the stairwell. She bent and picked it up, her heart pounding. This one was white again, but on the front, for the first time, was a single word written in bold letters. "Final." The last envelope. The word "final" stared up at Sandra from the white envelope in her hand. Her pulse hammered in her ears. She whispered into the phone, "Keanu, it says final. What if this is the end?" His voice came steady, like a hand guiding her through the dark. "Then let it be the end. But not the end of you. Not the end of truth. This ends with courage, not silence." Her fingers trembled as she opened the envelope. Inside was a single sheet of paper, plain and white, with only 5 words written in sharp black ink. "Truth is the only answer." Her chest tightened. "That's it. Nothing else." Keanu was quiet for a moment, then said, "Then we already passed the test. We spoke what we never said. We broke the silence. They cannot take that back." But before she could answer, the apartment door creaked open. Sandra froze, clutching the phone. "Keanu, someone just came in." "Stay calm," he said firmly. "Stay where you are. Listen for every sound. A shadow moved across the hallway. Slow steps came closer, deliberate and heavy. Her breath shook as she whispered, "They're inside." The figure stepped into the light. Not a stranger this time. It was the guard from earlier, the same tired eyes, the same uniform. But in his hands, he carried no weapon, only another envelope. He stopped a few feet away, his voice low and rough. "I shouldn't be here, but I need to tell you the truth. You weren't the target. He was testing both of you. He wanted to know if silence would break you or bind you forever." Sandra's heart raced. "Who is he?" The guard looked down, shame heavy on his face. "A man who thinks pain is power, someone who believes people can be broken with fear. He paid me to deliver the envelopes, but I can't do it anymore. Seeing you stand tonight, it made me realize fear doesn't have to win." Sandra's knees weakened, relief and shock twisting inside her. "So this is really over?" The guard nodded, then dropped the last envelope on the floor. "This was the last. The rest is your choice." And with that, he turned and left, his footsteps fading into the stairwell. Sandra bent and picked up the envelope, her hands steadier now. Inside was a blank card, nothing written, only silence. "Keanu," she said softly, tears falling. "It's empty." His voice warmed, gentle and sure. "Because the story is yours now. No more games, no more shadows. The silence has no chains unless you let it. Tonight you already chose truth, and that means you won." She sat down on the bed, holding the empty card like a sign of release. Her tears slowed. "I feel lighter, like the weight is gone." "It is," he said, "because you faced the silence. You didn't run. You spoke. That is strength. That is resilience." She smiled faintly through the tears. "And you gave me courage when I had none." His reply was quiet, almost like a vow. "I only reminded you of the courage that was always yours." Outside, the first glow of dawn began to touch the city. The long night was finally breaking. Sandra leaned against the window, watching the light spread. "Keanu?" she whispered. "Yes. Thank you. Not just for tonight, but for calling, for saying what you never said before. It mattered more than you know." He paused, then spoke softly. "It mattered to me too, maybe more than you realize." Her heart steadied. The stone she had carried for years felt lighter, almost gone. She smiled into the new morning. Then tonight wasn't about fear. It was about truth. Keanu's voice was gentle, like the sunrise itself. "Yes, and the truth is stronger than silence." And with that, the night ended. Not in fear, not in shadows, but in light, courage, and the memory of words finally spoken.